let's talk a little bit about some teams we didn't get to that we were digging in. Hamilton was really doing work last night on the Bills. Okay, frustrating, heartbreaking. I know the Vikings are like, whoa, hello, look at us, but Bills, similar kind of vibe. Like you have to go win a championship. Frustrating end to the season, but let us not forget, MVP aside for Josh Allen, like 2024, before it got going around this time last year, we were thinking maybe this is like a transition year for Buffalo. They moved on from a lot of the starters in 2023. Let's not forget the Jets. The Jets were getting better odds all around town to win the conference. Ooh, they were going to take down the Bills. The Bills were it was just so crazy. Okay. The coaching staff stuff, all the stuff going on with Buffalo. Somehow how did they win? How did they win 13 games? How did they get into the position where they were a game away from a Super Bowl? This roster now has retooled. They're ready, and they're in a much better spot to go and finally take this thing. If you look at the draft class, Beane went with 5 straight defensive players to kick it off and address the unit that ranked 17th in total defense, 24th against the pass. Speedy, Maxwell Hairston at corner, a star, a literal star. I want to say I think he's my favorite. He's my favorite in this class. Bolstered the D-line. They got a relentless pass rusher in Landon Jackson out of Arkansas. So when you look at this, it kind of, did we talk about the Bills on Monday? No. Did we talk about them on Tuesday? No. We waited till Wednesday, and that's a huge compliment, I think. They just went and addressed needs. They didn't make any sexy, huge moves. They didn't really have to, right? They don't have any big home runs or whatever. This was a haul for them, though, defensively. Okay. And they're going to be much, much better between that and the Joey Bosa signing, which I literally have not yet digested, like how that's going to even work or look at the jersey, any of it. I understand why Brandon Beane was frustrated. He had a radio hit the other day, right? And the idea of a receiver was brought up, and he was like, I don't understand. And I liked the vulnerability of him, like, I can't, and this idea, and I've talked about it a lot, like, you don't know we have such a little part of the picture. So we have to stop acting like we know everything and we know it's better. That's just for another day. But the offense, objectively, I get what being upset about or irritated by, irked by, icked by. They were second highest scoring in the league. They had an MVP. They have Josh and Joe Brady. Forget adding a pass catcher. The defensive upgrade is what needed to happen. And over on FanDuel Sportsbook, by the way, if you dabble, you should dabble there responsibly, of course. The Bills are getting the shortest odds to make the playoffs and win their division. That's of any team in the entire league. Second behind the Ravens at plus 370 to win the AFC. A close third behind the Eagles and Ravens at plus 750 to win the entire Super Bowl. They are tied for third with the Chiefs right now. They were a game away last year. This roster's now significantly better than it was going into 2024. So I like the Chiefs odds there too, by the way. Pick your AFC team. What do you think's going to happen? Get on over there and do it. You guys have questions for Nick Caserio? I'm sure the O-line's going to come up. We get it. They added some receivers. CJ Stroud, I'm sure. If you guys have questions, hit me up, please.